Oh my God! Watch this one. Watch this one.
Wait, should I watch this? Should I watch this? Should I, Jeff? Do I?
Yes, you should. You should watch this. Watch this.
Oh my God, bro. Play that again. Oh my God, bro. His neck went up into his skull. Russo'sBrand.com.
What does everybody want?
Where the pros are the pros. All right, what's next, Jeff?
Cody Rhodes was on Chris Van Vliet's show, and he told an interesting story about some of the guys in the AEW locker room. He said, this is going to sound mean, and it's okay if people take it as mean. When I was at AEW, a lot of talent would tell me, I'm not interested in being world champion. And I just say something polite and move on. But in my mind, I wanted to be like, get the F out, you are useless. That sounds so mean, but this is a competitive industry. Maybe not competitive in the ways you see it, but you should want the most. At least that's how my mindset is.
Oh, I agree. I agree 100%. That we've talked and discussed this, several times about the lack of drive and the job scared attitude that a lot of people have that are not constantly pushing to want to be at the very top. It's not about being, you can be the world champion and not be at the very top of the mountain, but that was what made the Attitude Era, or that period of time, was you had Austin, who was at the top, struggled and fought and clawed to get there. And now he's got to struggle and claw, and he's got to keep up in his game because The Rock is right behind him, nipping at his heels. You've got, Mankind and, Triple H and, Kane, and everybody's all trying to be the guy. And it's just pushing each other that much more to be even better and give the audience even more and go beyond their barriers and go beyond their limits to keep upping the game, which then in turn caused everyone else from the bottom up to up their game. And then the audience benefits. But if that sense, that drive, that desire to be the top guy, then again, you don't have to be the world champion to be the top guy, but just that drive to be the man, and everyone else wanting the same thing. It just, the wrestling business doesn't work that way. Does not work that way, because you've lost a very integral element. And that goes back to a lot of these talent now having downside guarantees that are of an amount that they'd have never made anywhere, anyhow, in any way in their lives, making that kind of money. So they get very complacent, they get very job scared, which means that they're afraid to take risks, take chances, hurt people's feelings, because unfortunately you have to be selfish at times in this business. You got to be giving, but you got to be selfish and know when those times are that you need to be selfish. Know when those times are that you have an opportunity to go out there. Even if you don't win, you lose, who cares? You still had that opportunity to be the thing that everybody was going to walk out of that building talking about.
But see, Al, let me throw this at you, because this is something you hear literally every single week that you never heard in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, through 2010. This is what you hear every week. Mm-hmm. Every single promo with these talents is, I had a dream. I had a dream. When I was 12, I had a dream. I had a dream. Bro, I never heard King Kong Bundy, Big John Studd, Rick Martel. I never heard any of these guys talk about a dream. This is what that tells me. You're talking about this dream you had because you were dreaming about it because it wasn't really a reality. Now, all of a sudden, you find yourself on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown and the dream came true. My point is, Al, I think you don't get that today because they're just happy to be there. They can't believe they got a spot in the WWE, where back in your day and way before you, You belonged. So since we belong, now I want to be the number one guy in this company.
Here's the difference, and we have discussed this. The mindset back then, when you got in the wrestling business itself, was not that you wanted to get signed somewhere. There was no destination. There was no, oh, I've got to make it to this company so that I can say I've made it. Okay, there wasn't that. The mindset was, I want to get in here and I want to make a living, and I want to be able to make as much money as I can make so I can get out of it on my terms. And the only place I'm going to make that kind of money is if I'm at the top of the card, and everything as far as how good you were wasn't about your physical ability in the ring. How good you were and how much appraise and how much esteem and your value were based off of one thing. How many people showed up at that building primarily just to see you?
Mm-hmm.
That's all that mattered. Okay. Nowadays, every young talent gets in with one singular goal in mind, and that is,
get signed.
I need to get signed to WWE.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what I get signed for.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to get signed to WWE, because I know if I get signed to WWE, I've made it.
Right.
And then if I can't get signed to WWE, I just want to get signed. I don't care what company it is. I just want to be able to walk around and tell my fellow wrestlers, yeah, I'm not on the indies anymore. I'm signed with TNA. I'm signed with Ring of Honor. I'm signed with MLW. I'm signed with this. When they're not any more up above anybody else, you're just signed under a contract. I'm signed with NWA. Big deal. You're not making any money, Oh, but I'm signed. I can now. It's a badge of honor for me. I can tell everyone. I can post that I'm signed, and now I feel like I'm a real professional wrestler. Back in the day, we felt like we were real professional wrestlers when we were working every single night, and I was able to pay my bills.
Yeah.
That's the difference. I had a kid one time. We were talking in OVW, and I was like, well, I didn't, first contract I ever signed, which is the truth. Very first contract I ever signed was with WWF. I didn't need to sign. I never signed contracts anywhere else I went, because we just came, it was always a handshake agreement. You just came in with the promoter and, hey, this is what we're going to do. And, this is what you're going to get as far as a percentage of the house. And you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the first contract to sign was WWF. And it was like 13, 14 years into my career. And then he's like, what? It took you 14 years to get signed? I was like, yeah, because that wasn't the objective when I got in 14 years prior.
Right.
The objective was for me to just simply get booked and work on a consistent basis and make money. That was the objective. It wasn't to get signed. And when I did get signed, I got signed to a contract. You remember those. You were guaranteed $100 and you were guaranteed 12 dates a year at $100 a date. And those 12 dates were the TV dates that we did once a month. And you were guaranteed nothing else. So you had to fight and claw and scramble to be able to make yourself some kind of a draw so that you could be then put on the live events so that you could make money, because that's where you made your money. Now you can sit at home and you're still making, I don't know what the average is, but you could sit at home and do nothing and make $300,000 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's nothing to sneeze at, and the problem comes down to the fact that these people get that $300,000 a year. And look, I'm happier than a pig in shit. That's more money than I've ever made doing anything else. So where's my incentive to take, I'll be a good soldier. I'll just do what I'm asked. I'll bitch and complain and I'll piss and moan that they're not treating me right or giving me opportunities, because I want more of the spotlight. But I want more of the spotlight not because of the financial benefit. I want more of the spotlight just for my ego. That's really all I want it for. Yeah. Because financially, I'm in a pretty solid place. Even if I'm at the bottom of the card, You know, even if I'm making only 100 grand a year, I'm still making 100 grand a year. How many people make 100 grand a year? You know, so I'm still doing better, and I'm still doing something that I wanted to do. And yeah, but now I don't want to piss anybody off. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to, so-and-so wants to go out there and do X, Y, Z during the match, but the match is really for me, but I don't want to get heat in the locker room. You know, I don't want to make them think I'm a prima donna. Who cares?
Yeah.
They're not going to like you anyways, because they don't like you now. And because you're a competitor, you are someone that now, if you go out there and you have 30 seconds of television time, that was 30 seconds of television time they wanted, and you took it. And so now they're going to do everything they can to take that 30 seconds of television time back so they have it. Not because they can capitalize on that 30 seconds and make more money, so they can now capitalize on it and now be featured and have more of the spotlight.
Yeah.
That's it.
I hope you liked the last video, and remember, man, you can go right now. If you've never been a Patreon subscriber, go right now to patreon.com/Russo TWC and get a free week of Russo's brand on me.
What's up, Brand? This is Jeff Lane inviting you to come hang out with me over on Twitch. I'm live several nights a week playing games, classic and new, currently going through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the new Contra game, and more. So check me out, Jeff Lane 22 on Twitch.
Pick up Mike Durbin's Conan action figure, bro. Look how beautiful this thing is. I freaking love the packaging, man. Look at this. MikeDurbin.com, guys. Help Mike out, man. This is a beautiful action figure, bro. Beautiful. MikeDurbin.com.